Okay, so here's a video of the backyard. This is mostly just to document what's happened in the last year, and yeah, you know, it'll be a good memory. There's a couple pictures of how it started. It was a fun experience. The garden was a mess. This patio was a mess. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff on the patio the other day, and there's Buddy. The garden is pretty torn up by the chickens. They eat everything. So there was lettuce and they ate it. Yeah, the patio was a fun project. Brought in all these are broken up, concrete pieces. And here's a pond. Kind of the motif of the concrete is our rock. And it's got a little waterfall and some plants. And it had some goldfish in it. But they're inside now. This iris bed is because if you see this pipe right back there that goes back into the house, the sink got stopped up and that's where the overflow was out in the yard, and couldn't fix it, so we moved the water out here, and you can tell it kind of sinks over towards the pond because that's the taller plants. Less water goes over to this side, but yeah, it's a cool little wetland. This is the worm bin. It's got wooden sides to protect it. The cardboard is just extra. And get down in the muckiness. Can you see the worms? They kind of got slowed down from winter, but there's actually quite a bit. Yeah, so I haven't fed them very often, and it was just, yeah, a cool. So this worm bin, it captures the AC condensate from the house. So right underneath there, that little pipe is a pretty constant drip during the summer, and that's what keeps them all alive. They literally congregate at the moisture that drops down. And then the wood panels are just kind of floating around this IBC tank. So that's what it is, IBC. And so that keeps them a little bit cooler in the summer. Everything is to keep them cool. The ramp is to keep big rains. So it's a completely open bin. This is the drain, and it's just a little net to catch them if they fall out. And so the water moves through constantly. It's kind of like a big filter, and the worms eat as they go. So yeah, it was a cool, lots to learn about worm bins. The new birds, honey and yellow and bok, and yeah, they're getting big fast. They're doing good. They come out a lot. I think they're ready to go. They stayed inside the whole day yesterday. But rather than let them tear up the yard, they're gonna move on to their new home, which is gonna be even better. So that's them. A little bit of a can yard, lots of figs to plant and pomegranates, little pine trees, blueberries. So they have a real special soil mix, real acidic, and the white is to help keep the temperature down, and from the pot heating up, because it's black. We want to try and keep them cool during the summer. But there's a few blueberries. There's one, and there's one, and there's one, and those will be easy to move, no big deal. They'll travel. And hey Bonnie, here's the greenhouse, and it's got a lot of cool new seedlings, a lot of tropicals, things that are going to go in the ground this year though, so it'll be okay. Cassava and a few avocados that are real hardy, and then the rest are annuals. Tomatoes, there's little peppers, some cuttings, a lot of citrus seedlings, But those, having another year outside, they'll be able to winter outside. In fact, some might even go gorilla planted in the ground because they're just random citrus seedlings. So it'll be a good experiment. But lots of nice plants that made it through the winter. We might have one more freeze, but probably not. The compost pile, which is rocking, we'll definitely haul this material off. And it was pretty cool. I just put leaves on top so it doesn't look like much, but down in the center it's hot. It was it spikes to like 150 and then it cools off, and I would dig and bury, and the energy when I put it in, it just kind of radiate through the whole pile, mixing like coffee grounds and then scraps from the kitchen. And so the leaves are breaking down fast, and this is where I pot up plants. And this is the pot bin full of junk, and everything just got thrown in here because it was all sitting in front and around. And here are the chickens. And no eggs this morning, it's a little early. But we can take all this down and rebuild it someplace else, will be good. So there's doing good. Sunshine's eating something. Got them transferred onto that water back there, which is nice because I don't have to fill it up as often. So it's just got little nipples, and then this is the tank up above. Lots of freeze damage and beehives, and let's see, yeah, some plants that needed some cold protection, some more seedlings. And this is the aquaponics. It is, yeah, a lot, but these two beds right here, they flood and drain, and some of these seedlings were going to go in soon, but you see in the back there's some things growing. That I thought was pretty cool. That's a random lettuce seed that fell into the rocks and has been growing. Not much different than these. But the way this works is there's a sump tank down there, and it pumps the water into this big tank, and then it overflows down the back into the other tank, and then it overflows into the two beds and goes down and back into the sump. And so this would be for fish, and then that other one could be for a floating raft of plants, and then more plants here. And all the plants are just to filter the water for the fish. So right now there are no fish, which is great because it was a little too cold, and all the plants are just growing off, human urine. And I was just trying to get the thing cycled and get it started. And back to here, not much. Probably won't replant, not a priority right now. There are other things happening. But that's a big massive arugula. And there's Bonnie, and a bunch of citrus trees to plant out this spring, and a bunch of junk. So, hope you guys enjoyed the tour.